Good morning to all my stitching friends out there in Flosstube land. I'm Janelle Meredith, Counting X's with Dr. Janelle Meredith is my Flosstube channel. And I'm very excited to be here with you today. This is number 3. So come on into my kitchen. I made us some cinnamon rolls. I sure did. I don't know why they're called my famous cinnamon rolls. Everyone, when my family comes to visit, did you make the cinnamon rolls? Yes, I made the cinnamon rolls. That's the conversation. It's like a whisper, and I think they're afraid to ask, and yet I know they're coming and I have to make the cinnamon rolls. And there's nothing famous or special about them. I use the Pillsbury hot roll mix, and maybe it's just that kneading, that dough, that extra kneading some love into the dough, and makes them extra sweet, and everybody loves them, so I'll take it. The framed cross-stitch picture you're seeing here is called Tall Rooster by Birds of a Feather. Did that a long time ago. I started it in Fort Collins. We moved to Texas. Took it with me, all my stuff. Never had time to stitch. Came back to Colorado. Finished it. And when I took it to the first framer that I was going to try, he looked at it and he said, "Oh, what did you do to this? It's ruined. It's dirty. It's stained. It's got spots." And I had to explain to him that I bought the linen that way, that's the way it was. And anyway, it was kind of funny. Excuse me, I ended up taking it up to Lloyds framing, and they did a beautiful job. I love it. Sometimes it sits on the counter, sometimes it's on the wall, just depending on how I'm arranging my kitchen. So I want to start off first by saying thank you so much for your support. I appreciate everyone that's gone and watched my first 2 videos. I have 472 subscribers, I think. So thank you. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. I know it's an effort for people just to take a moment and take time. I mean, I watch your floss tubes typically in the evenings, sometimes during my lunch break, but I just try to do it in the evenings. And so I can fully watch it. If I do it at lunch, I've got it on, and then I got to stop, and then later I got to go back. What did I watch? Oh, I better start it over, right? I don't want to miss anything. So that's pretty funny. And I appreciate your comments, suggestions, funny comments. I read them all. I try to comment back to everyone and thank you. Now I will tell you, there was one person that asked me about my pegboard that my husband made it for me. She asked, "Where did you buy that?" And I didn't buy it. My husband made it. He was really great about it. He's a woodworker, and he was trying to make sure the pegs were in the right place to hang all those overdyed threads, and one wasn't enough. I told him I need 2 more, so we'll see when I get those. And then as a novice to the stitching community, again, I want to say thank you for sharing your tidbits, your creativity, your ideas. There's so many things that I see, the pillows, the wall projects. I'm like, oh, I never thought of that. Where'd they get that idea? I love it. It's adorable. You all are so amazing, talented people, talented artists. And quilts, oh my goodness, love the quilts. I'm not a quilter. I got to get there. It's a good thing I'm not. And then tutorials. I want to thank you for your tutorials. I kind of, after watching so many, I feel like I'm slow. I'm like, why am I a slow stitcher? What's wrong with you? Get busy. And I've always used a hoop. So I kind of made up in my mind, you all have to give me comments and tell me, that if you stitch in hand, you're stitching faster, you're getting your projects done quicker, and so you're getting more done. And that's what I want to do. I have walls. I'm like, I want to do a red wall. I want to do my Adam and Eve wall. I want to do all of my Mexican samplers on a wall. I mean, I'm kind of crazy about all these walls I want to do with cross-stitch projects. So I went and listened to a few tutorials. I listened to Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, Teresa Vinette, Nicole's Needleworks, and I'm sitting there, I've got it on, I'm like, okay, I can do this. Yeah, okay. Wait, what? Nope, I can't do this. I'm all thumbs. It's my brain, it won't register. So I'm just gonna maybe I'll try one more time. Maybe. But I'm using my hoop. I'm happy with my hoop. However, I found out I was supposed to wrap bias around my hoop so I don't ruin my linen. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been ruining my linen. I never knew that. When did that come about? So pretty funny stuff that I kind of just like, wow, okay, I better keep watching. There's probably other things I don't know yet that I should know. And so again, thank you. And then I haven't heard back from the Denver Art Museum about going up there to look at the textiles department and looking at some antique Mexican samplers. And it's not so much I haven't heard back from them, I just haven't had the time to do that. And I'm hoping maybe in the next 2 months we just say, okay, this is the day we're going, we go and we check it all out. I'm excited to do it though. So I will show you the 2 Mexican samplers that I have done. So I'm going to insert now the first one, which is W, a Mexican sampler by Needlework Press. I did that for one of the girls a couple of Christmases ago, and she loves it. And then the second one is by Liz Matthews, a Spanish sampler. Did those together because one daughter got W and the other one got the Spanish sampler. And as you can see, they've been professionally framed. I did that at Lloyds. Lloyd's framing shop in Fort Collins is where I do everything. So all the framed pictures behind me I've done there. Unless I'm framing it myself with something I find, an antique frame, or go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Home Goods somewhere and find something unusual to frame my cross stitch. I usually take everything up to there, and they handle my stuff so beautifully. I just think they're amazing. They're one of the top framers in this whole region. So anyway, those 2 were done framed by them, and I think they look perfect. I just wanted more of a modern look to frame them, and I'm not sure that's how I always frame my samplers, Mexican samplers, but I thought it makes the sampler stand out more the way they did it. And then in this journey about Mexican samplers, I thought, well, let me just go find one and buy it. Been looking at all the antique stores. So I went to Etsy, antique Mexican sampler, found it, $1,300. No can do. Nope, not gonna do it. So, but it was inspiring. As I've told you, I've been inspired by all the ones by the Boston Museum of Art and the Harvard Museum and all these, like on Pinterest, all of a sudden they come to me in my email. Pinterest has my number. They know how to get to me. And so they send me all this stuff and I'm like, oh, can I reproduce it? It says I can. I better not. No, I need to buy my own. So that's kind of where I go. I'm like, I need to have my own that I reproduce. So all of these have been inspiring. And so I think, and the reason it's dear to my heart is that I want to do it as a tribute in honor of my grandparents, who were wonderful people, and they were so good in their community, good to everybody. And of course, Dad's parents. And I don't know, I guess because I stayed with them in the summers, I just feel like I was one of the spoiled grandchildren. Probably every grandchild could say that, but I tend to say it. So anyway, it's just something I want to do that's close to my heart, and I'll figure it out. And then this large Berlin wool work, I also want to reproduce that. So kind of thinking about, how does that work? How do I take all those little borders apart, that little Spanish dancer in the middle, she's just precious. All of it's precious. Someone already asked me to reproduce the birds. I already know, like, okay, I gotta get with the program here. And surprise, surprise, I got a new computer for my Mother's Day. It's beautiful. It's what I'm using today. It's pink. Of course it is. Love pink. So I'm very thankful that I was gifted that, and it's to help me get on my journey. So anyway. And now I'll share with you some things. So I did get my Ukraine project bag. Just love it. So pretty. My first project bag, I told you I was on my bucket list for next year. But with the Ukraine project going on through Susie Ellis of Hummingbird Hollow, you all know her. I know a lot of people ordered these bags, and she was very, very busy. And so thank you, Susie. You did a beautiful job, and I love it. I'm from Kansas originally. Kevin and I are from Kansas before we came to Colorado right after we got married. And the sunflower is the Kansas state flower. So that's why I love it too, for that reason. And then I told you I was going to share with you all my crazy, beautiful things I got from, they're not crazy, I don't know why I said that. Beautiful things I got from Jane Greenoff, Founder of Treasures. I went there to buy the Educated Stitch book. Of course, just can't buy one thing. It's coming from England. So the first thing I got was this beautiful Victorian Rose Bouquet. It's stitched on perforated paper. I don't like that little slit right there. I just noticed it for the first time and I thought, I sure hope I didn't do that, moving this thing around. Anyway, she mounts it on paper, handmade paper, and then just puts it in this little wood frame for you before she ships it off. And so one thing that she shared about this is this perforated paper used to be called Bristol board. So I thought that was interesting. I might go and do a little bit more research about that. That's how it was known in Victorian times. And then this is 24 stitches to an inch, and it's a Berlin pattern from 1865. I really feel like it matches well with my antique sampler over there that I bought. I ordered this before I even bought that, so it's kind of interesting, like, wow, well, anyway, I love all this stuff and I love roses, so I guess it wouldn't be a surprise that it all comes together. So there's that. She has these little things called baby bundles of love, linen. So you have 4 pieces, 18-inch squares, different colors, unbleached stone cream, and then unbleached Dublin is what that's called. Isn't this sweet? It comes like this. I'm not even gonna mess with it. I just want it to sit on the shelf because I think it's adorable. And then I ordered this adorable Rosebud Ruler. Do you see that? Isn't that precious? Anyway, so the purpose of this is when you have linen in your stash and you didn't keep the tag on it, you don't remember what count it is, you can take your little ruler, count. It's a 28, 32, 36. And I've never stitched 40 or 56 or any of the linen thread counts that you guys talk about. I'm like, oh gosh, no, I'm scared to death. So this is adorable. I ordered it just because it was precious. I typically know and keep a tag on my stuff, but it's a great idea in case you do that. And of course I had to order a pattern. I sure did. All right, I don't know why I'm whispering. Alice Hobbs, Be Kind to All, the Lord is my help. Isn't that sweet? I love it. In your box, I think I've showed you guys these boxes before that Jane sends things in. Very nice card from her. Jane Greenoff, found her treasures. This came in my package, and I'm not sure what it's for. I'm sure I ordered it. It's reminiscent of the Bristol Orphanage samplers, and I'm gonna have to go back to her website and see what the purpose of this little piece of fabric is, because I don't remember. Gold needle, ivory, ABC to hold floss holder. So very precious. I love all the stuff from Jane. That was my second trip there, but I'm not going again. I can't, no more. I love Jane, but Jane, I can't come see you anymore. All right, I'm gonna show you the books. Educated Stitch. So this is Historic Samplers, 1700 to 1900 from the Whitney Antiques. I'm just gonna open it like this. Beautiful, beautiful. I know a lot of people probably already own this book. It sounded like at a retreat that Brenda and Laura went to with Attic Needlework. This was offered. They had these books there for people to buy. And they said everyone was rushing to get one. And I believe that. I mean, I'm just so happy that I was able to dig in and find it. And now it's here. And then the other thing I ordered from Jane is I got her 30th anniversary cross-stitch antique style samplers. And and Adam and Eve, of course. Very excited. Not every pattern is charted in her book. And I probably already bought this pattern. I did. Marianne Gollins. I already have that. And then I thought the other cool thing in this book was she actually has a section on Berlin woolwork samplers. So that'll kind of help me with my, I think she has some information in here. Maybe she just has that picture. That'll help me when I'm kind of doing a little bit more research on that. Another book I got was Samplers by Rebecca Scott. And again, kind of also through the centuries, 17th, 18th, 19th century, Quaker samplers, samplers of the poor, and a lot of great stuff. And I want to come back to that in just a second. And then this one I got from Jane, Stitched in Adversity, Samplers of the Poor. This is very informative. I didn't know about all of this history that I'm going to read this to you. Surviving needlework samplers worked by children are a testament to the skill and perseverance of the young of a bygone era. So not only their needleworking skills, but their record of stitches, patterns and fashions in design, and then just an insight into social history at the time. So anyway, this covers not only the Bristol orphanage, but let me think here. I want to show you these pocket samplers that were made. I've never heard of that. So I'm really excited to kind of get these books, and then I want to take a deep dive and just read more. This is an infirmary. I was like, well, what did they do there? Why were they having children stitching there? And anyway, I think it was labor. And then, so anyway, I'm making stuff up, but I just want to go in and read and learn more about the history of this work that we do. So that's really pretty. And then in this, I went to the hospice thrift shop and I found this book, English Needlework. A.F. Kendrick was formerly keeper of the Department of Textiles, Victoria and Albert Museum. And there's 42 illustrations. They're in black and white. And so it's a history book, and then again, pictures, and so it's about England. So what's interesting to me is in Rebecca Scott's book, in her footnotes, she references A.F. Kendrick, a different book called Catalog of Samplers. There was in her introduction, and I'm sure there's a few other places that there's a footnote about A.F. Kendrick. And how random is that I bought this book, I go to the hospice thrift shop, I'm just looking around, and I come across this English needlework. I'm like, oh, I think I'll buy that. And there's some kind of, it's what's the word I want to say? A line of history there. I don't know, just thought that was really cool. And then one other book I'll show you real quick. Traditional Needle Arts Cross Stitch. I got this at the used bookstore downtown Longmont. And what I love about it, it's got tons of beautiful cross stitch projects for you to take out of the book and do. Can't reproduce them, of course, but you can stitch them. And they've got bed linens, alphabet samplers. Probably this page showcases. Not every one of those is in the book. Look at that. But 1, 2, 3 of them are. 2 aren't. So I felt like for $8, this was a gold mine. Like, OMG, look at all this beautiful stuff. There's a tablecloth that you can do with needlework, embroidery. Anyway, and to me it lended more toward Swedish designs, even though some of them are from England. So very cool. So those are my haul, my treasures of books that I wanted to share with you all. And Jane sells lots of books. You can go to JaneGreenoff.com and her website and find all kinds of things, her samplers and her books. And then, I think I said a minute ago, Pinterest knows how to get us. They have my number. I get all these Pinterest things in the email, and I'm like, oh, well, let me just take a peek. Oh, what is that? And off I go down the rabbit hole. So I came across this beautiful antique sampler years ago. It's a red alphabet sampler. And I thought, oh, that's cute. Went on, because I wasn't into stitching as much back then. So the other day it popped up, and the picture is a woman standing in front of a booth, and she has red samplers behind her and this one, and this is the one I always admired. I was like, oh, I should find that. I need to find that. So click, click, click. I find her, and her name is Emmanuelle, and her company is Alice & Co. I think it's Alice & Company, and she just goes by Alice & Co. And so this is called, I can't pronounce this, French Écriture, I don't know. And this one is French Elie Boubon, maybe. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So these, if you go to her website, she has books on quilts, quilt templates, and cross stitch. And they're beautiful. And I was just like, oh, I shouldn't have come here. I only got two. I only got these two. And they weren't very expensive. Now, I want to talk about the cross stitch that's on the wall behind me. Actually, I'm not going to move my chair. What I'm going to do is lift this up. So at the very top, the cross stitch is called Amazing Grace. Found that in San Antonio and I had it framed there. To the left is an angel, and I can't find the pattern for either of those. Three of these up here. The angels, and then the lettering is all the scriptures in the Bible about angels. Love that. That's about 12, 14 years old. Then in the middle is the 10 Commandments by Lottie Daw, and that pattern is, that chart's still available. To the right is my big toe, the books of the Bible. And I'll bring this back down. This is what it looks like. My fabric is a little bit darker, more modeled, but I love this pattern. It was a fun stitch and I sure enjoyed it. And then below that is an Adam and Eve by my good housewife. And I did that a long time ago too. The girls were in grade school. Love that. That was my first Adam and Eve. And then I was always planning to like have a wall. I've collected just a few. I shouldn't say I collect. I have found a few old wedding certificates is what they're called. And you can kind of see the scripture about marriage and maybe someone's name. And so I have those framed. And so the way I do my bedroom wall is I have those and then a few of wedding type samplers mixed in. I just think it looks cool. And then in the middle is that alphabet sampler that I found. I told you I found it at an antique store, but as I thought about it, I actually found it at a vintage like flea market place. There's a place in Loveland called, it's an event center called The Ranch. And they used to have annual antique vintage flea market days, weekend. And vendors would set up in this whole big building. And so you just go through each one and buying all these treasures. And I found that folded up. I don't think I paid very much. There's no name, there's no date. I love it. And of course had it framed. I would like to reproduce it, but I want to be very careful. So if anyone out there recognizes that, or you're like, oh yeah, that's such and such, they just didn't finish it, please tell me. I welcome that feedback. And then the one next to that is Take Joy. Take Joy. And so, hold on. Take joy from each day. Goodness. And again, I don't have the pattern for that. I will tell you that I usually donate my stuff to Goodwill and to the hospice thrift shop. So I heard Brenda and Laura talk the other day about not just giving away all your stuff to Goodwill. And I'm like, oh shoot, I've done that. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. I guess hold on to them. But in my mind, I'm done with them. I want to bless somebody else. I'm sure someone's at the Goodwill looking for a beautiful project to do. And here I've donated one of my patterns. And I don't mark up my patterns, so they do look used, but not brand new. So, lesson learned. I'll figure that out. And let's see, I think I've covered every one of those on the wall. I'm going to stop here for a moment. I need to take a phone call, and I'll come right back. Hello, I'm back. I had to take a pause there for a second. So, I want to show you my finishes. So, if you remember, I was working on A&E, Adam and Eve from Brenda Gervais. And this is it. I love it. I love it. It was such a fun stitch. Look at that little snake in there. Yep. This framing, I did myself, and it's a frame from Michael's. Wasn't very expensive. It was fun to just put that in there. So that's done. And then I finished my measurement sampler. Oh, I'm getting a big glare. Let me see, where can I go? There we go, maybe. Maybe not. Anyway, this was a fast, easy stitch. It was a lot of back stitching, and I think it's adorable. This frame is from Hobby Lobby. Like $10, wasn't expensive at all. So that makes it easy to do my own framing and feel like I've got a treasure going there. And then I did want to tell you guys about the rescued sampler that I showed in my first video. I went and looked for it. It's called Flowers of Rose Hall. It's a Rosewood Manor chart book. It looks like in this booklet you get two pretty little dainty samplers, a welcome, and then this one. I remember telling you the only thing I saw in there was 2014. I didn't see initials of the stitcher, but I see now there's a place where that person could have put their initials. So it's packed. We've packed up the house. It's in a box. So once we unpack it, I'll take another peek and see if I find that initial or initials, and just know who stitched it. And then I'm going to tell you about my current whips. And I'm going to save the Russian alphabet someday for last. Okay. So, with it being after Mother's Day, I felt like it's springtime. I need to get my spring is coming. My mini Quaker. Oh, here we go. Let me do this. Here's the threads. I don't have those on. Thread plus keeps. This is the chart. Isn't that pretty? Colors of the Earth. I just love this. It's adorable. It's really kind of going fast for me, even though I'm not a fast stitcher, like I said. And then my red, always doing something red, is my Peaceful Kingdom. When the queen is happy, there is peace in the kingdom. And I will say when this queen is happy, there is peace in this kingdom. So, I love this. Vintage Country Mocha, 36 count. And Evertoe, Leo, and Roxy Follow Red. Love that red. I just love it. I thought I'd be further along, and I'm not. Like I said, we've just got so much going on right now. And then rotations. Well, hold on. Let me think. Let me do the Russian alphabet, because that's a whip. I think when I shared before, I said it was a start, and I had like 10 things, 10 little crosses, 10 X's. So now I have a start. Isn't that beautiful? I just love it. Smoky white linen. Got that from Kitten Stitcher. And then these are see, I got these on my, all numbered and pretty on there like that. It's got great colors. I got this messed up. Here, let me see. Maybe. There we go. Very, very pretty. I just love it. I can't wait. I stitched it and I put it down. I'm trying to do the whole rotation and you know, feel like I can get more projects done if I'm not a monogamous stitcher, if I try to break it up a little bit. So I'm learning, I'm growing here. So, and again, there's the pattern. Several people reached out to me about the pattern, and in my second floss tube, I said I couldn't find it on Etsy. I still can't. I've entered her name, and it's not pulling up. I've entered the name of this pattern, and I still can't pull it up. Now, someone did respond to me and let me know some information. So it's Renata. Thank you, Renata, for getting back to me. And what she has informed me is that Maria, actually has a floss tube. And so I found her. I watched 3 of her floss tubes. They're in Russian. The one I'm going to put in the comment box has a link to her finish of the Russian alphabet sampler, this antique. And so in watching her, very sweet lady, very, very talented, very creative. On her page, her Instagram page, I went to her spot for inspiration to see what inspires her. Beautiful pictures. And then again, some of her projects, she's done Pandemic, Do Different, and she's getting ready to do another long dog. So she likes big projects. I'm like, oh goodness. So anyway, beautiful. And she's been communicating with me. She's great. She responds to my questions. So I want to give you a little bit of feedback that she shared with me. This Russian alphabet sampler, I'm going to hold it up again, contains letters that were used from the 10th to the 19th century and are now not present in the new Russian alphabet that they use. She found inspiration from this design from a church book. So I said, oh, what was the church book? And so she explained to me that, and this is translated from Russian to English. I'm not sure about the translation. I'm not sure what she means. But she said, you're right, the letters have an environment at the top in the form of a dome. I think that's kind of cool. Love the dome, but I'm not sure what that means. And then she said the side flowers are taken from a manuscript that dates from, I think it was the, where's my note here? The 11th or 13th century. And she said since only the church could draw books in those years, this is a church book that she used. So again, beautiful 32 count smoky white, over 2, and then using the DMC threads that she mentions in here. I'm sure if someone wanted to use silks or change it, they could. So I enjoyed listening to her. I thought, well, let me peek at her resources. Oh man, I'm in trouble. So she has a spot on there. It's in German, Workshop for Historical Embroidery. Love these German designers. So it's Dorothy and her partner, Ute. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And in 2003, they founded this workshop for historical embroidery designs out of love for historical embroidery and the desire to share their discoveries. And so they offer replicas. I think we would use the term reproduction of old samplers, and they design their own. And they also had a big summary about since 1825, I'm thinking they're referencing not themselves, but since 1825, in their embroidery history, they only use pure silk on high quality linens. And I was like, oh, I'm not using silk. I gotta get with the program. So I'm going to their website. I went shopping. I did. Oh my goodness. This is what I do. And I did this for Alice and Co. And I did this for this workshop for historic embroidery. I go in there. I'm like, click, click. Oh yeah, click. Oh, that's beautiful. Click. And so pretty soon I have this basket full of patterns. I think I'm going to buy these charts. And I wait 24 hours. And then I'm like, okay, you have gone crazy. Get back in there and before you pay and make sure, right? Like forget the PayPal. So with Alice and Company, I told you I only bought 2 and they weren't very expensive. And then when I did this one, I had a lot in there. So I go delete, 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 delete. And I only kept a few, and so let me tell you what they are, because when you go to their website, you'll see them and you want them too. So they have something that's, I don't know that it's an American theme, but 2 patterns, and one of them is called American Homes. And it's almost like little quilt blocks with architectural homes, American homes. Beautiful. And then they have a companion one called American Gardens. Beautiful. So of course I had to buy both of them because if I'm going to do one, I'm going to do the other and hang them side by side. And then I got Compassion. It's a red sampler. Then I got Quaker Hometown, which is in red and green. And then I got Colors of Venice, which are blues and taupes. Now we've been to Europe. We've been very fortunate to have traveled to Europe. We've been to England, London, we've been to Prague, we've been to Italy, we've been to Venice, we've been to Paris. Trying to think where else we've been. And so when I say I'm going around the world, I mean, we've done some of that travel ourselves, but I'm going around the world with my cross stitch and I just love it. So I think we were in a German airport when we were coming back through from Italy. I don't know that we've ever been in Germany. But anyway, I love this website, and I went back last night And I'm like, no, I cannot buy anymore. You have an order coming. It'll be here in a few months. So stop it. No more. No, 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 no. That's my word to myself. You can no longer order. Get off the internet. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to plan, and then I'll end this video. In trying to figure out how I can get more projects done, I'm taking your guys' advice as far as being a monogamous stitcher and trying to do more projects and devoting time to those projects. So on one of the floss tubes, I heard somebody talked about let's start back. Sundays is for religious, spiritual samplers, maybe samplers with scripture. So I thought, well, I do a lot of that already. I could continue that and just Sunday be my day where I do one of my samplers that have scripture or mean something along those lines. So I have with my stash, and I have Better to Dwell. See that? It's adorable. This is by My Big Toe. And so the designer said there was a season in her life when she was struggling to adjust to a new normal. And during that time, her husband was very patient, prayed for her, encouraged her. And she said, all of this in spite of me being quarrelsome. He had every right to be on the corner of a rooftop. It would have been safer. So the scripture saying out of Proverbs 25:24, it is better to dwell in a corner of a housetop than in a common house with a quarrelsome wife. Isn't that precious? I love it. I just love it. I laugh every time I read it because it's, I don't know. I know I've been quarrelsome with my husband at times, so I can relate to her saying that. So this is where I am. I started that Sunday. Got just a little bit. Just wanted to get in there and kind of get it started. And I love it. I might do it more than on just Sunday, but I'm going to try to do my rotation. I really am going to try to stick with it. So there's that one. And then I thought that won't take, but maybe, well, it might take every Sunday in this next few weeks. But I think after that, I'm going to do this one by Teresa Renette. It's her original design, A Savior's Praise. I love this pattern, and that will probably take me to the end of the year. I don't know, on Sundays. So we'll see. So I'm going to do a Sunday rotation. Then I heard about every third week of the month to work on a Christmas project. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. Why haven't I done that? You get things done. So Felice Navidad by Blackbird Designs. This is an older pattern. I don't know when it came out. I've had it for a while. And I love it. And a few Christmases ago, I did start it, but work got in the way. I don't know what happened, and I didn't finish it, or I barely started it. I actually had quite a border here. But I took the linen, and I did my tea dyeing, coffee staining, smushing coffee grounds on it, and pulled the over dyes that I was using, because I had pulled them to do some other project and I didn't have everything. And I thought, oh no. So I went ahead and pulled the DMC colors, and I actually think it matches very well to all of this. I think that I got the fabric right with the dyeing. I've got the colors. I'm very excited. Now I'm like, when's the third week? When can I work on this? So I'm going to do that. And maybe by Christmas I'll have it done. Maybe I'll have 2 done. And then always stitching something red. So I have this. I bought this a while back. I saw it on Nicole's Needlework, one of her older floss tubes. I hurried and bought it. I'm sure I ordered it from maybe Kitten Stitcher. I don't know. Alice Burton, 1885. And it looks like I had mocha linen and this bandana red from Classic Colorworks. I think it's going to look gorgeous. I can't wait. So once I get Peaceful Kingdom done, I'm going to jump right to this. I have it ready. I'm ready to go. I love the idea of always working on something red, and that was something new that I learned from Brenda Laura. And then my next Adam and Eve. Is there enough days of the week to do all this? There has to be. Told you I love Adam and Eve's. This is Adam and Eve sampler by Sub Rosa. Got that in 2017 when it came out. I heard about her through Nicole's Needlework, and I have quite a few of her charts. And I stitched it, framed it. It was beautiful. I might have a picture. If I do, I'll insert it here. And then I gifted it to my sister for Christmas one year. So there it went out the door. So I'm like thinking, oh, I love doing the Brenda Gervais Adam and Eve. I need to do another Adam and Eve because I've got quite a few of them. So I'm going to do this one. And then I'm going to use this fabric I got from Fortnite Fabrics. I know in my last video I'm holding it up and I said Lakeside Linen. I don't know why I did. I goofed. But this is that Caravan Tan that I got from Modern Folk Embroidery. And I took it up to Denver to get the blue and green silks. Again, I've never stitched with silks. It's going to be a first time for me when I do that Modern Folk Embroidery Fruits of Plenty. They were out of some of the blue silk I wanted, and I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling like the navy and green were going to work well on this. So I ended up buying just a cream Belfast linen, a large piece, got a navy blue and a green, picked out those two colors, week's dye. They didn't have the green, so I went to Greeley to Country Crafts. Cheryl and her mom own that shop. They have it, and Cheryl's great. She keeps her shop very current. She has everything from market, all kinds of pattern, and she does framing there too. So she's ordering me the green, and so when the green comes and the blue, and I have the cream Belfast linen, I'll kind of figure out how I want to dye it and get going on that Modern Folk Embroidery. And then these are the colors, the threads. Actually, this is, I don't know why I have this cranberry in here. Maybe this was kitted for something else. I love it, but it's more of a terracotta, is what she called for, and that's how I did it before. But maybe I'll change. I don't know. I'm going to try to be creative here, guys. So that's an Adam and Eve that I want to do. And as I was trying to figure out my next Adam and Eve, these were a close second. Maybe they'll be next. I have this one by Little House Needlework, Adam and Eve. That's a small one again too. They all, well, I have some that are big. And then I love Lucy Beam. She just cracks me up, her patterns. So this one came out, The Root of All Evil. I don't know if you can see that, but that Adam and Eve have red hair. I just think it's hilarious. And the saying is, Adam and Eve in the garden went on an apple, I think it says tour, last dollar spent. And then it has the alphabets with a large Z. You guys see that? It's just adorable. It's precious. I don't know. Maybe I'll move that to the front of the line. I can think about it. So anyway, The Root of All Evil, Adam and Eve, and then of course this precious one from Little House Needleworks. So, and I've got others, but I'm excited to now kind of think about doing these rotations, not being so monogamous about my stitching, and maybe I'll get more done. So, I think we've gone over everything. Told you about Modern Folk Embroidery, Fruits of Plenty, there we go. I told you about my tour of England. So I went to England, I went to France, we've got Russia, we've got Hungary. Esther is the designer from Sub Rosa, and she's out of Hungary. Her stuff, as you know, is a PDF instant download. And then the last thing I want to share about is, oh, we went to Germany. The last thing I want to share about is, I think I told you guys that my husband, I'm trying to find the notes here, I apologize, because I thought I had them. Here it is. My husband's an artist, and he paints beautiful paintings. And he did this beautiful one called Gardening a Passion. And a magazine out of New Zealand reached out to him, and they want to use this painting on the cover of their June issue. And so I want to read to you about it. So the name of the magazine out of New Zealand is called, I'm not going to say this right, Tuimotu. So Tuimotu. That's the name of the magazine. It's a small, independent, Catholic monthly magazine. It's published in New Zealand and has a focus on discussions of ecological and social justice issues and other contemporary issues from a gospel perspective. And the June issue has a theme of zero hunger in the world. And then they also have an article about a number of groups of people collaborating to see that people in their area have access to enough food every day. I mean, that's just very touching. Like, oh my goodness. I love it. I love that. And I'm so excited that they chose my husband's painting to be on their June magazine. I'm going to insert a picture here. Now, I love that painting. I won't let him sell it. It reminds me, again, these memories, childhood memories, reminds me of my grandparents. They had a huge acreage for their home in Colorado, and they built a house. They had a garden with apple trees, peach trees. They had vegetables, watermelons, cantaloupe, corn. My grandfather later put in a strawberry patch, tomatoes, cucumbers. I mean, and my grandmother made these amazing tortillas, flour tortillas, and I mean, you just had gone to heaven when you'd go visit them because they had it all there. And so that painting, he can't sell it, it's mine. And poor Kevin, we do this to him. He'll paint something, he thinks he's gonna take it to the art gallery. He used to be in a couple of galleries, and we'd be like, no, wait, let me look at that. Oh, did you paint that for me for Mother's Day? Oh, was that my birthday present? And he painted this beautiful painting of wolves in the forest. And my daughter saw it. She's like, Dad, I have to have that. You know I love wolves. So she got that. I mean, and my other daughter got something else. And so we just, I think hers was a fisherman. No, I'm trying to remember. It was like an old print, and she used to live on the East Coast. So anyway, the poor guy can't get a break because he's trying to make a living, and we're over here taking all these paintings and keeping them. But anyway, he does beautiful stuff. So again, thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for subscribing. This has been a lot of fun, and I will see you in a month. Bye-bye.